أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
White people, if you are white and you're listening to this, listen very closely. Lately I've been seeing many of you complaining about Islam and the immigration and stuff like that. And I'm going to separate the white people in two categories. The Americans, Canadians and Australians do not count because they are white people that live in a country that's not theirs. You guys have invaded those lands from the rightful owners. So when you guys get back to Europe, then we can talk. But for the European white people complaining about immigration and Islam, first of all, I want to tell you that Islam is going to take over every single square inch of the globe. And you guys might think that it's going to be us, dark-skinned people, that are going to take over. No, it's going to be your own people. As you can see how fast Islam is growing, in the next 10 to 15 years, every white person is going to have a Muslim member in his family. Nowadays you see white Europeans with blue eyes and blonde hair reverting back to the truth because they have finally seen the truth. And the thing is, there's nothing you guys can do to stop it. You guys can hate.
Nothing we can do to stop it. Welcome to Truth with JJ Carrell. We've talked about this before, and we're going to talk about it again because it's not going away. When I look into the future, when I see what the problems that are facing America, this is emerging as the biggest threat is illegal immigration, but the side of that part of the illegal immigration issue is the Islamic, I can't even say it, Islam taking over America. Millions upon millions of Muslim immigrants poured into America under Joe Biden. And then millions came in legally since 9/11. What was our response to 9/11 when we were told that 19 Islamic jihadists flew planes into the World Trade Centers and all three buildings fell down even though they only hit two of them? What was our response? Well, we brought in more Muslims. Well, that's a smart thing to do. We need to prove to everybody that we're not Islamophobes, correct? When you're watching this video, those videos, that wasn't Europe. The last one was a European Muslim telling you that white people, he's going to destroy us. White people meaning America and the Western world. They're going to take over. And to give that man credit, he's correct. Europe is fallen. We've talked about this. Ireland had 94% of Ireland's births last year. Not 9.4. 94% were to foreign nationals, mainly Muslims. Let me repeat that so you have a better understanding. 6% of all Irish births were Irish citizens. How do you overcome that? The answer is you don't. Belgium, 87% of everyone under 18 years old, Middle East and Africa. Belgium's gone. It's gone. You have emerging youth that will be adults, all of them, and then the rest of your nation is white and old. How do you think that works out? Come on, let's just all be honest. Let's just be honest. England, 10 of their top cities in the whole nation, Muslim mayors. Those videos, except the last one, were in the United States of America. The first one was Minnesota. Did that look like Minnesota to you? Or did that look like Mogadishu? Second video, Texas. Texas is the largest growing Muslim population in America. I'm so tired of hearing about how great Texas is. Texas, you've let us down as a nation for quite a while now. You have the largest section of the southern border and you did nothing to stop it. Nothing. You had more child detention facilities where they traffic children across America than any other state in the nation. Texas. Texas has large communities that are just built on Sharia law in Texas. Texas, I believe, has the more mosques than any state in the union. Third video, Michigan, Dearborn. The last one before the very attractive snaggletooth man from Europe was New York City. You cannot have open borders and bring in 60 to 70% are single adult military age men from the continent of Africa, Middle East, Haiti, and Venezuela, and expect everything's going to be okay. Tens of millions, not millions, tens of millions. You're just not, it's not going to be okay. This is a simple math problem. You may not like me. You don't like the way that my cadence is or the words I choose to speak. Data is simply just data. It's not manipulated data. This is just straight black and white numbers. And we're on the losing end of these numbers. Muslim women are having somewhere between 6 and 8 children, family. How many children are being born to American women? Less than the replacement level. Thus, we are dying. It's a simple math problem. Millions of people are having large families. Tens of millions of people are having no families. None. Let's contrast America with a great country called Hungary. Hungary has no illegal immigration. No Muslim men pouring into their country. They have no rape problem. They don't have a murder problem. They don't have a violent problem. They have no problem, actually. And they're correcting the problem with fertility by giving women families. If you have X amount of children, you do not have to pay their form of federal income tax and several other things. They're giving incentives to have more children. What are we doing in America? We're actually celebrating your ability to murder your child. And if your child somehow is able to escape and overcome the abortion, well, what do they have waiting for them? Well, they have the wonderful time of taking puberty blockers and then having their genitals removed and become a monster. I'm watching Congressman Tim Burkett come on the floor and say, or in an interview, say the whole DOJ needs to be, everyone in it needs to be fired and have to start over. I have the same sentiment for the entire federal government. The whole thing needs to be destroyed. It's not going to happen. The power is so, when you drive into Washington, D.C., two things that hit me every single time I drive in there is how beautiful it is with all the giant buildings and marble and just in monuments. And then the second thing immediately washes over me is the power, the feeling of power, the centralized power the federal government has. And when I look at these videos, and I could have chosen 10, 100, 1,000 more videos to put in there. I could choose anything I want. They're just everywhere. The one thing that struck me is we are battling in wars with the Middle East. Now just follow this out. You have millions of Muslims that have not assimilated at all. They have their little cutouts. Now they're becoming big cutouts in towns and cities across America. And they're flying their foreign terrorist flags. What happens when there is a hot war in the Middle East with America? And those countries, Iran, Afghanistan, Yemen, Palestine, Syria, what happens when they make that call out to their countrymen, their actual brothers and sisters here in America, and say, her Islam, her Muhammad, you have to fight from inside? And then I want you to look at those men. You don't have to like them. You don't have to like anything about them. But I'm going to tell you, from one alpha to another, that those are alpha men. Are they off the rocker? Yeah, I think so. Do they believe in something, and that something is bigger, stronger, more powerful, and is more entrenched in them than anything that American men have? Yes, that's true. So the thousands upon thousands of people in that video that are slapping their chest and chanting, how do you, if I'm a bookmaker in Vegas and I pick 100 of those guys or 1,000 of those guys in their black pants and black t-shirts and their red chest from beating it, ready to go to war, and I tell you, what are the odds of those men, 1,000 of them, versus randomly choosing 1,000 American men, obese American men, on ED medication, antidepressants, multicolors in their hair, man buns, skinny arms, diabetic, multiple emotional issues, ailments? Who's going to win? If I'm a odds maker in Vegas, where am I going to put the odds? Is it going to be 2-1 to the Muslims? Is it going to have to? I'm going to have to do 100-1, meaning you're going to have to put money 2-1, 100-1. I'll pay 100-1 that the white Americans are going to win, or just Americans, not even white, just Americans. Where are you going to put your money? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. I don't see really fat, obese Muslim men. 16 to 24-year-old fighting age men in America. Over 70% can't join our military. 70% of our young men cannot join the military because they are obese, they have physical ailments, or they have some kind of mental disease that needs heavy medication. 50% of the over 70% of our fighting age men have 2 or more of those ailments, meaning they're grossly obese and they have psychological issues, or they have psychological issues and they take hard narcotics. Do you remember when you were 16 to 24? I remember when I was playing high school football, then I was playing college football. I had so much testosterone pumping through my body, man. I was just, it was all man all the time. I can't imagine at 16 in high school playing 3 sports, going to college and playing football scholarship, being fat and obese and having mental issues and not knowing if I was a man or a woman. Sitting in my dorm room crying because I think that I should be having a baby. Having tampons and trying to just determine what orifice of my body does the tampon go into. That's not hyperbole. That's the truth of what's happening in America. And I will say this about Islam and the Muslims. Nobody's putting that LGBTQ XYZ divided by the insane sign. No one's daring put that into their schools. No. They won't tolerate it. They'll kill you. but they'll do it to the Christians. Because as the Muslims believe strongly in their prophet and their God, Christians have been watered down to believe in nothing. Our Savior is weak. Our Savior is some hippie freak that loves everyone, and he ignores his Father's commandments. Those are just suggestions. And when you take a step back and you look at Islam versus Christianity here in America, come on, it's not even comparable. It's one faith and one religion of alpha males that believe that they have to destroy the West and they're going to go to war and they're going to do whatever it takes. Means if they got to have 20 kids per family, if they got to do whatever they got to do, they're going to do it. Whereas Americans are like, I really like my latte. Can you put, I need to turn this back in. I don't like the way that picture, that cream you put in there on the top, it's kind of triggering me. I need something new. Who's going to win this war? Not us. We've allowed the Trojan horse of illegal immigration, split loyalties, no allegiance to America, to run rampant in our country. Historians 100, 200 years from now are going to write volumes and volumes and volumes about how America fell. And it started by the balkanization of America by our politicians, the mentally ill politicians, the upside down pastors of our faith, the liars of our faith. We talk about being prepared, and we talk about how do we get here? How do we get here? This diversity is our strength. You need to ignore everything that you have been taught as righteous and true, and you have to open your mind and heart to everyone else in the world, because all cultures are the same. All religions are the same. Everything's the same except you're bad. America and Americans, you're bad, and you have to redeem yourself. Well, because we listen to propaganda from corporations, our government, and entertainment, and we had to swallow because we didn't have a choice to do anything else. There is a choice that I have as a sponsor of my show, and that's patriotsmade.com. Go to patriotsmade.com/JJ. I don't shop at the big box stores. I go here and I get all my power bars, I get my vitamins, I get my lotions, shampoos, I get all my cleaning supplies. Why? Because they don't have metals in them. They don't have pollutants in their food. I'm not putting lotion on my skin and metals are going right into my bloodstream. Casey Means of the great Tucker Carlson, I believe, Surgeon General, maybe, said that she can now, medicine now, can go into your brain and you have so many metals that have gone past the membrane, the brain membrane, that they can now physically weigh how many metals are in your brain. That's how much we're being poisoned. So why do you give your money to stores like Walmart that then in turn give their profits to their main family, the Walton family, who then in turn fund kings.org, nokings.org, or you go to all of the major corporations that sell you the products that we've been buying for decades, and they fund BLM. They fund Black Lives Matter. They fund Planned Parenthood. Have you had enough, America? Have you had enough of being demonized, slandered, vilified? And then have you had enough giving those people your money? Go to patriotsmade.com/JJ. Trust me, there's a company here that makes products in America by Americans for Americans. patriotsmade.com. I'm going to show you, this was Charlie Kirk this weekend this past weekend in Turning Point, USA. And I want you to listen to him talk about, and he's right. And he's right about this. Islam is not compatible with the West. It's incompatible. So why did we allow it here? Why did we allow, why did Europe, fighting back the hordes for centuries, just allow them to walk in and take over? Europe has fallen. America is very close. Let's say there's 7.5, 8 million Muslims in America right now, conservatively. They're reproducing in one generation 6 to 8. Let's say 6. That's 42, 45 million in one generation. One generation. 2 generations, they're at, what, 240 million? 2 generations at the birth rate. It's over. Our politicians have committed suicide in America if we don't do something drastic, like deport everybody. And I mean everybody. No cutouts, Mr. Trump, for your big ag and your big service friends. Sorry. No. I want them all gone. All of them. All the 86,000 refugees from Afghanistan you brought since the debacle when we killed all our American soldiers, they all go back too. Don't tell me it can't be done, and don't tell me we can't do it. You either want to save America or you want her to die slowly. Watch this clip of Charlie Kirk.
The question is macro Islam compatible with Western values? Macro. Of course it's not. There are 3 major reasons why. Islam does not believe in freedom of speech. Islam does not believe in freedom of religion. And Islam does not believe in separation of mosque and state. Those 3 things are antithetical to the West. In a Muslim majority country, most Muslim majority countries, you cannot criticize the Prophet Muhammad. In most Muslim majority countries, you do not have the same robust freedom of religion protections. And finally, whereas we in the West are very careful to try to intermix religion and state, they are commanded to actually go into the state and try to change the state to be more Islamic around the core pillars of Islam. And the last thing I'll finally say is I cannot see a single Western country that has become more Islamic and has become a better place to live that is happier or freer.
By what metric? Just happiness, quality?
Everything from quality of life, from cultural cohesion, from whether people want to live there, prior to the native-born fertility rates.
Again, people watching this will say is your criticism of the religion itself or not Muslim people? Because there are British Muslims who have been born here.
You don't have to caveat it all the time. I know you guys have to because you're British and all that. A culture ceases to exist when we don't have unified language. When you cannot talk to your neighbor. I'm not discounting that there are good individual Muslims. The question that we need to reckon with the West is Mohammedanism compatible with the teachings of Blackstone? Is it compatible with the legacy of Wilberforce?
All right.
And the great thinkers that have come from this country? And I will say, no, there's a reason why when you go to these Islamic countries that you're not going to see the equal protection of rights, that you do not believe in universal human equality, that you do not believe the same things that we believe in the West. And I think it's suicidal to import millions of them.
Yeah, and you know what, just on a passing point on that, it's most of the time, as far as I'm concerned, it's not even multicultural. Because there was an example there was a school a few months ago during Easter which cancelled Easter celebrations out of respect for other faiths. So it's not as if the word multicultural and multi-diverse doesn't include Christianity.
No, and again, this is the red-green axis, and Britain is at the forefront of this. You have the Marxists that have infiltrated your government and the Islamists that are coming to your country. And when they combine together, they both agree on one thing. They have huge disagreements on a lot. They hate the West, and they want to see it broken.
Okay, we're finished.
I believe everything you just said. When you take and all you have to do is replace what he's talking about in Europe and put it in America. It's the same. You have the divide, the merging of the politicians, which are basically all of them that hate the West, hate America. We know the left hates America, and there's people on the right or the rhinos that hate America too. And then you take Mohammed and the Muslims, and they hate the West, and they merge. They merge. And when they take over, when Islam takes over, they are going to eat, like physically eat the left first, because they despise the left. At least they look at us on the alpha males and alpha women on the right and say, well, at least they have some fight in them. At least they have some, I can respect them. But all the LGBTQ, gay children, all that stuff, nope, we're going to eat them, physically eat them alive. And they will. They'll devour them. Islam is incompatible with the West. And you want to do a stress test? You want to challenge what I'm saying? Let's look at what he said, that there's one school in England that canceled Easter so not to offend the Muslims. Let's reverse that. Let's say that we're in Mogadishu. Do you think they're going to suspend Ramadan so they don't offend the Christians that are, if there are any, in Mogadishu? You think that's going to happen? You go down Mogadishu, or you go into Syria, Yemen, Afghanistan, and our women are going to walk down the street in sundresses. Western women, U.S. women, walking down the street in sundresses, no bra. Daisy Duke shorts and some halter top and some cowboy boots. Telling the men how misogynistic they are. Yeah. Come on. Can we all be honest? See, that's when you start talking like this, and then you're telling me that I have to take them into my country, and they won't take us into their country and give us the rights. And I don't think they should. That's their culture. That's how they believe the world and life should be. Who are we to tell them that they're wrong? But why are we allowed or forced to take them and have to capitulate all of our moral, cultural, societal norms to fit theirs? We're in America. We're in Western Europe. Why in God's name am I changing my country's character? Changing our societal and cultural norms to appease other people? They could stay in their home country. But look at what we've done. Through George Bush, God spoke to George Bush, I'm sure he did. Obama, Biden, Trump. We're blowing up the Middle East, blowing them up, displacing them. And we displace them into America and to the West, Western Europe. And then we're shocked that they hate us and will not assimilate. Again, can we reverse this just for 1 minute? Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, bomb us to smithereens, displace tens, if not hundreds of millions of Christian Western, and we end up having to go and live in Afghanistan. They throw our women in burqas. They make us second-class citizens. We begin to cobble together one little neighborhood after another, and now we have like a little town. Do you think we're going to assimilate? Do you think our women are going to stay? It's summertime and they're going to get in a black burqa when they're used to going to the beach or at least going on the rooftop and tanning in their bikini? You think we're going to capitulate? You think we're going to just stop? Or you think our men are going to fight? Some of our men are going to fight. The other ones will write poetry and talk about their feelings and pray to God that the alpha men come home to protect the betas. So when we would do that, why is it that we are shocked that we see videos of Dearborn, Michigan, with Palestine flags and all the terrorist organization flags flying. Why are we shocked in New York City when they stop all the traffic to do their 5 prayers? Why are we shocked that Minnesota looks like Mogadishu? They're not going to assimilate to our culture. That's a fallacy. I saw this video again, and I'm going to play it. And it's maybe a year old, but this woman, and she's speaking the same right now. I won't even try to pronounce her last name. It's Eva. And she says, I'm going to quote her before I play her. Quote, Europe is being flooded with immigrants from non-Western countries. Our national identities are being destroyed and replaced. We are paying for our own destruction. Play this for me, Logan, and just replace Western Europe with America.
America and Europe are facing incredibly similar problems. And that's because we are under attack by the same sick globalist agenda. As a result of that, my continent finds itself in rough waters, and that is to put it mildly. Europe is being flooded with immigrants from non-Western countries. Our national identities are being destroyed and replaced. Our sovereignty is given up to bureaucrats, unelected bureaucrats, may I add, in Brussels. Our churches are closing their doors, and we are spending billions and billions of euros on a non-existing climate crisis and a war in Ukraine that isn't even ours. In fact, I would go as far as to say that we are paying for our own destruction.
We are paying for our own destruction. 4 years, 30 million illegal aliens came into America. We're now over 50 million illegals in America. We are deporting 30,000 a month. Let me say that again. Over 50 million illegal aliens live in America, and we're deporting 30,000 a month, 1,000 a day. At the end of the year, we'll deport 356,000. 365,000, excuse me, give or take. That's what is that? 1%? 2%? Do you see the urgency? Do you see the problem that's facing America now? Do you see it? Do you understand what our politicians have done to us? How we've been conditioned through propaganda to believe that diversity is a strength? Diversity is a strength. Let's take sports teams, for God's sake. On football team, I have 11 guys on offense, and I have 11 guys that believe that they need to do something different than what the play's called, and we snap the ball and everybody goes their own way. How's that diversity working? How about I go into the huddle and I'm speaking Arabic and everyone else speaks English, Spanish, and maybe some Greek? How well are we going to play the game? We go into the culture of America, into the neighborhoods of America. And one neighborhood speaks Greek, the other speaks Italian, the other one speaks Spanish, and the other one's Arabic. And then inside each of those communities is a different dialect, 5, 10, 15 different dialects. How are we going to be a cohesive unit of people called the nation? You know the answer to that. We're not. And you don't think this is happening in your community? You think you're immune to this? You think Springfield, Ohio, 7 years ago, if I told them 5 years ago, said, hey, yeah, your white little town here in Ohio, you, the white and blacks here in Ohio, hey, listen, I know you have 40,000 people. In 5 years, there's going to be over 60,000, and all the new people are going to be voodooists from Haiti, and they're going to be wrecking cars all over your town, running into buildings. You're going to have your schools be decimated. Your quality of life's going to just plummet. housing is going to be skyrocketing because they're going to devour all the housing. They're going to put 10 people in an apartment. Property values, the cost of rent's going to go up and the property values are going to go down. You want that? You think you're immune, Springfield? Laughlin, Ohio? Population 3,500? 3,500. In less than 3 years under Joe Biden, they brought in over 3,000 Mauritanians, Islamic men, into a town of 3,000, 3,500. They brought 3,000 illegal aliens into your community. Indiana, same thing. Illinois, Pennsylvania, New York, Texas, Arizona, Nevada, Washington. God, I can just keep going on and on and on. We've allowed this to happen to us because we have been quiet and we've remained silent, impotent, cowardly. What a shame. What an absolute shame. I did a vault this morning on the COVID. I showed a clip of a gentleman that's a doctor that's lost 50% of his lung capacity, and he has no idea what else is wrong with him from having COVID. And I've talked about this, and I've talked about this before, about me having COVID and my immune system being shot and working out every day trying to literally flush my body of this Chinese/American created bioweapon out of my body. How do I do that? Well, I have to increase my immune system. I have to in order to purge my body. One way I do that is Pet Club 24/7. They have a proprietary mushroom from Japan and make it into the highest dose. It's God's creation, not Pfizer, not some drug. I can't OD on it. I can't get addicted to it. It comes in a capsule form, or I can get a bomb and rub it on my arms. My dog, my pets are eating plastic. Dog food is plastic. So I have treats for my dog that are made from Pet Club 24/7 to increase her immune system. Thomas, can you play the Pet Club 24/7 commercial? I believe in this product. I believe in the husband and wife that own and run it, Kristen and Kurt. They're incredible. Go to Pet Club 24/7, truthwithjj247.com, truthwithjj247.com. I don't know if you have that, Thomas, that video. Okay, go ahead and play it for us. Thanks, man. Reverse the chemical tide that's in your body. Yep. That's why I take it, to reverse the chemical tide that's in my body. I can feel it. I'm very aware of my body. I'm very aware of when I feel a certain way. COVID ravaged me multiple times because of the work that I was in. No one's going to pay a price either. Dr. Fauci making $400,000 or $500,000, $500,000, $1 million a year in retirement doing nothing. Saint Fauci. He should be in jail. He shouldn't be in jail. He should be hung. Hung. Our government is evil. I don't care how you take that. I don't care if you can digest it or not. I'm just going to tell you the truth. Our government is stone cold evil. Look at the history of what we've done to our people. Let's just stop. Let's just take a break just for a second, just so we can understand how evil our government is. I'm going to give you just one example. MK Ultra. MK Sex Magic. Started with Operation Paperclip, the Nuremberg trials. All those Nazis should have been, when they convicted guilty, they should have been hung. As we are told, they didn't. They flew thousands of them into America, changed their names, dispersed them into academia and NASA and the political appointees across America, changed their names, and then they began their experiments on U.S. citizens in MK Ultra. To the point in 1997, in the Carter administration did a church commission, and CIA admitted, yes, we did this to thousands of people, but we'll never do it again. Then Mr. Dulles, who was the CIA director, ran back to his office, and they began shredding and destroying all the documents. This is common knowledge. Go look at it. And do you know what I was told? Someone told me that knows it, Dr. Juliet Engel, who was part of the Sex Magic program. She says, JG, do you know where all the Operation Paperclip documents were housed? Like they kept them in an area. And I was like, no, I don't. She said, well, that would be the Oklahoma City building that blew up. Oh, okay. You can't make this stuff up. You honestly cannot make this stuff up. That's the government that I hate. You want to go back to the Tuskegee Institute, where they took black men with syphilis and then give them anything to help them and let them go mad and die? You know, talk about the 60,000 women, I think it was in the 50s or 60s, that were found to be hysterical or whatever, and they just ripped all of their reproductive organs out of their body. Go ahead. Go ahead and look at that. Look what Dr. Fauci did by pumping AIDS into orphans from mainly, I think it was Haiti or Dominican Republic in New York. Go ahead. Go ahead, check it out. And go ahead and come back, and I'll let you on. I'll give you 15 minutes, and you can debate me. Go ahead. Debate me that America, the government of America, is righteous. I'll wait. Go ahead. Look at what our politicians are doing right now to law enforcement officers. Look what they're doing to the ICE and Border Patrol. Right now, I just read Democrats have passed a bill in the House to make it a misdemeanor for law enforcement to cover their face. Now, I'm going to tell you straight up, there's no way in hell I would cover my face. Everybody would know who I am. And anybody that came by my house or accosted my family, I would cave their skull in. I cave it in. And everyone would know, as everyone did on the border, who I was. But why are these agents feeling as if they have to do this? Because their families are being accosted. And the Democrats are now coming out and saying this is part of their free speech, is to attack ICE and Border Patrol agents because they are the enemy. Can you pull up this Trump post for me, Thomas? And I'm going to read it off my phone because this is important. And as I'm reading this, I want you to think that our law enforcement has become so impotent, so gutless, that we have to have a president tell us this. Quote, I am on my way back from Texas and watched in disbelief as thugs were violently throwing rocks and bricks at ICE officers while they were moving down a roadway in their car and or official vehicle. Tremendous damage was done to these brand new vehicles. I know for a fact that these officers are having a hard time with allowing this to happen, in that it shows total disrespect for law and order. Therefore, I am directing Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, Border Czar Tom Homan, to instruct all ICE, Homeland Security, or any other law enforcement officer who is on the receiving end of throwing rocks, bricks, and any other form of assault to stop their car and arrest these slime balls using whatever means is necessary to do so. I'm giving total authorization for ICE to protect themselves, just like they protect the public. I never want to see a car carrying a law enforcement officer attacked again. Authorization immediately granted for arrest and incarceration. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, do I love that? Yes. But at the same time, Thomas, you can take that off. At the same time, I'm infuriated. Because when I watch these videos of these ICE officers and Border Patrol agents, where's the leadership? I ran large task forces. I would never allow my men to be assaulted and abused like this. Never. There would be people being arrested non-stop. You throw a rock at us, that's attempted murder. You're going to be arrested. You're going to bump or push and touch an officer down on the ground, you're arrested. Assault. You try to get in front of my vehicle, I'm going to run you over. You jump on my vehicle, I'm going to shoot you. You throw a rock and that rock's still in your hand, I'm going to shoot you. Where is the leadership? Where? I'm not talking about the high level leadership. We need that. We need that backing from Donald Trump and Tom Homan and Kristi Noem. Okay, I understand that. I'm talking about a guy like myself that was down in the trenches as the supervisor as a watch commander, which is like a lieutenant in the police department. We ran things on the ground. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's where the true leadership comes from. Where, in God's name, are the leaders leading these young men to do what needs to be done under the blanket of the Constitution and law? And I'm going to tell you, they don't exist. Why? Because for years and years and years, they've done nothing but be administrative transportation unit for illegal aliens. They don't know how to react. It's like you played football in college and then you got hurt or something, or something happened and you didn't play from the time you went from your 2-a-day training camp as a freshman. You didn't play all the way to like the last game in your senior year, and you're shell shocked when you get out there. You haven't been able to practice. You haven't been able to do anything football related. And all of a sudden you're at the University of Alabama and you're in the Iron Bowl against Auburn, and they say, hey, you're in. I'm in. I don't even know the plays. You're in. How are you going to do? Border Patrol agents have been doing non-Border Patrol agent work. ICE officers have been feeding, medicating, transporting illegal aliens into America. They have no idea how they do their job. There's a learning curve, but no one wants it. It's not, I'm not joining an accounting firm and I have a learning curve, and my learning curve is, well, I just missed a couple numbers and I come back and I redo it. Your learning curve is people are trying to kill you, and if you don't react the proper way, you're going to get killed or you're going to get hurt. Where are the leaders? Where are those physical takedowns? Where is that strong force, use of force? Where is it? I'm not talking about people that are upset and they're like, you can't do this, and they're heckling me from across the street. That's fine. That's freedom of speech. You can do whatever the hell you want. But the moment you cross that street and you push me or you get in my way to do my job, why are we allowing those people to walk free? It's against the law. If you don't want to make it against the law, then go to Congress and change it. But right now, the law says that you can't do that to me. And yet we allow it to happen. So much so that the President of the United States has to get a tweet out trying to encourage you to do your job. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. I'm going to show you a video. This is Representative Congressman Salud. His first name is Salud. I'm going to say it again. Representative Congressman Salud Carbaja. Carbaja. I don't know. Hell, I don't know how to say it. He's a Democrat piece of trash from California. He gets rejected from ICE, but know what he does? He takes an ICE officer's business card and gives it to the mob, and they begin to dox him and his family. You think he should go to jail? Why is he not in jail? It's been several days now. Go ahead and play this video for me, please, Thomas. Everything I just told you just happened. I wouldn't know that dude. If he walked right by me, I have no idea who that guy is. He's a congressman. I don't know. So you're going to let that person just break your ranks? Like he didn't like bum rush you. He walked in and just moved you, and you just let him walk by. And then you talk to him. Where's the leaders? If that was me, I would have immediately removed that agent, brought him to the back and said, listen to me, man, we're going to have a talk right now. If I see you do that again, you're going back to the office where you belong. Do you understand me? This is embarrassing. As a law enforcement officer, this is embarrassing. I work this area. And where this represented Salud, where he's working, I drove by there in the middle of the night working the coastline, taking down narco smugglers. I know right where Carpinteria is and Camarillo. And where he's trying to protest, they arrested over 360 illegal aliens. 14 of them were children. Multitude of the 360 of the adults were rapists, had all kinds of criminal activity. 14 children were working in the fields. 14 children. And don't tell me they were just working in the fields. Please don't talk to me like I'm an idiot. They were being sex and labor trafficked. Absolutely. Let's play this other video of Salud, if I can tolerate it. I might have to stop it, but go ahead and play this one, Thomas, number 10. You can stop that. Yep. I just can't anymore. ICE officers, Border Patrol agents being assaulted. How is that okay? How is any of that okay? You're emboldening these people. Law enforcement officers are going to get shot and killed. They're going to be shot and killed. I'm looking at this. I pray every night that I'm absolutely 100% wrong, but I know that I am not 100% wrong. I'm 100% correct. I'm going to show a video of Tom Homan explaining why ICE officers are wearing masks. But I want to stop right here for a second and talk about SAT-123. I want you to be prepared. SAT123.com. I look at SAT-123 differently because I come from a different perspective. I come from I need to be prepared. Law enforcement, bad people are going to do bad things. So I need sat phones for connectability. I need Starlink so I can get on the internet and reach out, know what the hell's going on in my country. And I need generators because I know it's a matter of time before some idiot seeds the clouds in my part of the world and there's giant downpour of flood. or it's a manipulation of weather. I'm looking at SAT 123 for those reasons because I want to be prepared. Other people are like, I just want connectability, JJ. Okay, that's fine. Then if you just want connectability, there's no better place to go to SAT 123. Why? Because you go get a SAT phone, you don't pay $500 to $1,000, $1,500 for it. They're going to give you that SAT phone for free if you get a monthly subscription for less than $100. For less than $100, you get a brand new SAT phone, and now you have connectability. You don't have to use the minutes. It's just there for emergency. SAT123.com/JJ, or call the number on the screen. And when you call the number on the screen, here's something that's unique is going to happen. You're not going to have to punch any numbers. And you know what? Someone on the other line is going to be a U.S. citizen that speaks English. Wow. SAT123.com/JJ. Can you please play this clip of Tom Homan of why they wear masks?
Trap Tom Homan. Watch.
I think one of the things that's had a lot of folks up in arms is that ICE agents, unlike other law enforcement, have been masked to protect their identities. That's not something that we've really had on this scale in this country. Do you?
Well, we never had the scale of attacks on ICE. We have now up 700% attacks on ICE. Doxing against ICE agents.
Well, you've had increased attacks on police officers as well in the wake of the defund the police movement too, but they haven't put masks on.
You name a police agency that has a 700% increase in assaults. Name one.
I haven't looked at that data, yeah.
You won't find one. The attacks on ICE is unprecedented, 700% increase. And we're not even talking about the doxing of agents, their spouses, and their children. So they're wearing masks to help give them some sort of protection. The same people that are complaining about ICE wearing masks, have they ever said anything about BLM protesters wearing masks?
Well, I mean, that leads me to the question that, like, do you have concerns that
Let me answer, though. Let me answer.
Yeah, okay.
Have they ever say anything about the mass protesters that became criminals on college campuses that threatened Jewish students and took over buildings, destroyed property? They were all wearing masks. Did anybody pass legislation saying they can't wear a mask during a protest? No. We're talking about law enforcement.
Oh, I think there are a lot of people who are upset about that. But then
you've seen any legislation proposed to remove masks from protesters that become criminals, that take over college campus? You haven't. Look at the BLM protesters, how many lives were lost, how much property was stolen. They're all wearing masks. Did anybody propose legislation saying it's illegal to wear a mask in public while you're protesting? No, there isn't. This is attacking ICE officers. The Democrats want to vilify men and women of ICE on board. And I said from day one, when President Trump won office and I came back and said, now the vilification starts. Right now, it's the racist ICE, the racist border patrol for simply enforcing the law to deal with the repercussions of Biden administration's open borders, where millions of criminals and public safety threats were released in this country. So I
support that. We need to talk like Tom Homan. Be blunt, be bold, be unapologetic. Just be an American and demand freedom and get ready for a fight.
All right, we're going to be joined by Colonel Rob Maness, David Pine, Annie Cyrus, yet tonight, Dr. Lana. But real quick, I wanted to bring my beautiful wife, Melissa House, back into the studio. She hasn't been here in a long time, and I wanted her to come back in and then just tell you how important this elixir is, as well as the other great products at melissahousebg.com. Because, again, this is a major, major way you can help us continue to push out this network and all this great programming free. And, folks, this has 80 clinical trials behind it. Here you go, babe. Great to have you in the studio. The mic is yours.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I just wanted to come on and just thank everyone that is subscribing to Bella Grace. And it's just such an amazing product. And we tell you all, I know Brandon tells you all the time of all the ways it's helped him. And I just get reports from people continually when I'm on the phone where it has helped them in so many different ways. And so I just love to come on here occasionally and just tell people that you're helping support, the network, but you're also going to help support your health. It helps with skin issues. I've had people that have had pretty serious eczema, other skin issues that it's helped with, of course, fine lines, wrinkles, hair growth, all of that is obviously a plus. But